page. So by lunchtime tomorrow, you can go through and listen to all of the scopes that I've done so far, this 10 by 10, which I think is probably number 10, 11, something like that. So yes, you can do that. So if you miss this, if you have to leave, if the connection is choppy and you don't have time to catch the replay within 24 hours, you can absolutely go to my website and catch those replays. I'm not sure how long those replays will be up there, because I have a feeling when Natural Nicole finds out about that, they're gonna have to come down. But in the meantime, get that content while it's good and hot and free. So just saying, because it won't always be that way. Pretty sure about that. So anyway, I started on this journey back in 2009, 2010, doing natural hair videos on YouTube. So I got my start as a natural hair vlogger. 2011, I started doing live natural hair events. I'm an event planner by trade, 15 years of event planning experience. In 2012, I created International Natural Hair Meetup Day, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a one-day event where we have events all over the world. Literally, we are truly international. We don't just say that because one person to be from Canada. We really do have events all over the world on one day where we celebrate the awesomeness, the versatility, style, and strength of natural hair. So I've been doing that since 2012. During the course of course, be like Nunu and his needs. During the course of creating International Natural Hair Meetup Day, I coached and consulted with and trained event hosts on best practices as it relates to event planning and building their communities and their local communities around the subject of natural hair. And from that, I started doing webinars. I have probably I've done at least 40 or 50 to date, I feel like. And because I was scrolling through my webinars the other day, and I was like, man, I've done a lot, not to mention live presentations and workshops that I facilitated and done as well. I started doing the 10 at 10 when I first hopped on Periscope, and I was just trying to carve out my little niche in the scoposphere landscape. And I wanted to offer you at least 10 things that I thought, whether it was action steps, tools, tips, resources, hacks, whatever I felt like would really be helpful to you and pushing you towards your purpose and increasing your productivity, and just in general, inspiring you to live the best life that you can possibly live. I have now also adopted the moniker of the Purpose Pusher, because that's exactly what I do. I've been doing it without that moniker for a long time. And so I just really have adopted and become settled that that's what I do. I push people towards their purpose. And that is my goal. That is my life's goal, is to help at least 1,000 people discover, develop, and deploy their purpose. And I've said it on several scopes, and that is, yes, hashtag Purpose Pusher. That is exactly what I am here to do. And 10 by 10, 10 at 10, excuse me, is one of the ways that I do that. And I honestly would not have come to that place of knowing what my purpose was, one, and knowing coming up with a Purpose Pusher moniker and brand, if you will, and feeling and vibe, had it not been for my squad. And so that's, yes, your purpose is addictive. And I want you, that's a healthy addiction for you to have. You should be, oh, thank you so much. I did see that, but it was too full. I couldn't comment. So I did see that. Thank you for doing that. I do want to make you addicted to your purpose. I do want it to be that is almost like the air you breathe. Accomplishing, doing, working on your purpose is essential to your life and to your livelihood. And so, yes, I do want to encourage that particular addiction. So, but I wouldn't have gotten to this place of being comfortable with being the Purpose Pusher and with where I am right now in terms of my brand life and building my business and working on my exit strategy, had it not been for my squad. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the differences between your squad and your team. I have members of my squad in here, and I am in the process of building my team. And then I may even throw in a little bit about a tribe, because all of those things are mutually exclusive and a little bit different. I'm going to be drawing some inspiration from a member of my squad, and that is Natural Nicole. She talks a lot about the Coin Collective. So some of the attributes and the qualities of the squad will closely resemble that of what she talks about as it relates to the Coin Collective. So you will see some parallels and some definite similarities between the two. Yes, notebook ready. All right. So I will say off top that I feel like you need to have both. You do need to have your squad and you need to have your team. And that is something that will probably develop and evolve over time. And you may not have that in place right now, and that's okay. But you definitely, I know I need some Scoper spectacles. She should brand that. She should come out with a line of glasses. If she's still in here, she absolutely should do that and call them the Scoper. Well, maybe not Scoper, but the spectacles. Yes, absolutely. Shouldn't she? So anyway, we're going to talk about the differences between your team and your squad. And as I said earlier today, if you were on my scope earlier, I talked about today was a day of compare and contrast and looking at differences, because earlier at 6 o'clock, I did a scope on the differences between passion and purpose. And essentially, I said I can sum it up in one sentence. Your passion is your what, your purpose is your why. Your why will rarely, if ever, change. Your what may evolve and change. So I talked about that. You can go catch that scope. I did not record it, so if you don't catch it in the next 24 hours, you're gonna miss it. I'm sorry. But when I started that scope, I typically do something that that a lot of people, I think, sometimes take for granted. And I literally look up words in the dictionary to determine what the dictionary meaning of words are. And there's a lot of insight and even revelation that you can find in simply the dictionary definition of a word. I know that we know words, especially simple words, but a lot of times you can find further insight and revelation in like we say in church, rhema, by just looking at the actual definition of a word. So we're going to start talking about the definition of squad and team. So the definition of squad is a small group of people having a particular task. Again, the definition of squad, a small group of people having a particular task. That is straight off Merriam-Webster's website. Urban Dictionary defines squad as crew, posse, gang, an informal group of individuals with a common identity and a sense of solidarity. The term is a bit flashy, which is why I like it, and is more likely to be heard in hip-hop lyrics than in spoken conversation. Actually not, because squad is a regular part of my conversation actually right now. So again, squad is a small group of people having a particular task. If you look at the Urban Dictionary definition, that is definitely closely akin to what we're going to talk about tonight, and that is an informal group of individuals with a common identity and a sense of solidarity. So for me, when I think about squad, I think about this. I think about S, there is small. And that was the Merriam-Webster's definition of it. A small group of people having a particular task. Your squad is going to be smaller. Your squad is going to be that tight-knit group of people. Also, your squad is Q, qualified. That means that they have some experience, some expertise. They have something that they bring to the table that qualifies them, not just because they are great to hang out with and they're super nice people and that sort of thing. They actually have a skill or a quality that qualifies them to be a part of your squad, your collective. They are also unique. And when I look at people like Jay-Z and when I look at people like Diddy, but especially Jay-Z, Jay-Z has an eclectic group of friends. And I like that because it shows in his business dealings. It shows in his and just sort of how he maneuvers and navigates. So, you know, like he's cool with Linkin Park, which is a rock group, and he's done music with them. He's cool with other hip hop artists. He's cool with a ton of business people. You don't really know all of the intricacies and ins and outs of those relationships, but I guarantee you he is, simply because of the opportunities that he has and is presented with and presents himself and creates for himself. So your squad can be and should be unique. And another word for unique is diverse. So your squad shouldn't necessarily be made up of people that look like you, come from the same place as you all the time, have the same background as you. It should be a unique group of people that have unique qualities that, again, qualifies them to be a part of your squad. A is accessible. Your squad is always accessible to you. My squad is accessible to me. That doesn't mean I access them every day, but it means that they are accessible to me. So when I need to have a conversation or I need to text and run something past somebody, I know with my squad, I can pick up the phone and do that. I can text and say, hey, are you free to talk? So your squad is accessible. And then lastly, your squad is driven. They have their own goals, their own aspirations, their own dreams that they want to accomplish, and they're driven to do that. And so your drive oftentimes is influenced a little bit by their drive and impacted by their drive. So they're driven all by themselves. They don't, right. They don't have to, they don't have to do, they don't have to be told to do anything or prompted to do anything. They're driven all by themselves. So your squad is small, qualified, unique, accessible, and driven. All right, now let's talk about team for a second. Your team, the definition of team, according to Webster's dictionary, a team is a group of people who compete in a sport, game, etc. against another group. Or a group of people who work together, or a number of persons associated together in work or activity. So again, a team is a group of people who compete in a sport, game, etc. against another group, a group of people who work together, and a number of persons associated together in work or activity. So for me, when I think about the team, and I actually talk about this in some of my differences, they work toward a common goal. They work toward winning. Even the first definition about it, them competing, a team competes, your team, your brand, and it not necessarily in a malicious way, but you are competing against other blogs, other businesses, other coaches, other service providers, what have you. So the people that are on your team, they work together to compete against that. They work together to produce products or content or events that sets yourself apart in a sea of people that are doing like things, okay? So your team is T, they're talented. People on your team absolutely should have some talents. Like that's why you hired them, or you have put them in a volunteer status on your team. Your team also should be excellent. They should do things with excellence. That doesn't mean perfection. That does mean excellence. That means that they try to do their best and they are not out here just whatever with their task and things that they are assigned. Your team is also accomplished. They achieve the task that they're given. They succeed at that. They are accomplished in the various tasks and responsibilities that they have. And M, they are manageable. They are managed by you as their leader. So your team is talented, excellent, accomplished, and manageable. All right, so do we understand? We have a basic cursory knowledge of what a squad is in terms of my definition of it, and what a team is. All right, give me some hearts and let me know that you know what the difference is. All right. Hey, bestie. All right, so again, like I said, a lot of my squad is in here. So I will be referring to them. It's understood and written. 10-4. Got you. So I have, these are all of the differences that I have to go over tonight. So let's get it going. Number one, one difference between your squad and your team. In your squad, you are one of the leaders. You are just one of the leaders. On your team, you are the leader. Okay? So in your squad, you're one of the leaders. Because again, remember, our definition is a group of individuals with a common identity and a sense of solidarity. So these are the people that are doing similar things to you, or are leaders in their own rights, have their own businesses, have their own brands, are leaders within their organization, and leaders in life, what have you. And so you are just among one of many leaders. Y'all know Periscope won't let me be great. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So if you don't mind sharing, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. So we were talking about number one, the number one. Yeah, I think they must update the servers at 10. The number one difference between your squad and your team is that in your squad, you are one of the leaders. On your team, you are the leader. So in my squad with people like Pamela from Coils by Nature, Natural Nicole, Diana with Sisters with Beauty, Jonna with Naturally Glam, they're all leaders within their own rights. They lead their own initiatives and endeavors. On my team, which is primarily made up of volunteers right now, but I am the leader. I'm the one that they look to for vision, for direction, for assignments and that sort of thing. Whereas in my squad, there really isn't a leader. There's not a vision per se, one vision. I mean, our vision is that we support each other in, hi, how are you? In helping each other, supporting each other in accomplishing our visions. So again, the one difference between your squad and your team is that in your squad, you are one of the leaders. On your team, you are the leader. The second difference between, oh, I saw we. The second difference between, I didn't say much more than just go over number one. I was still on number one. Second difference between your squad and your team is that your squad will help you determine how to make the coin using Natural Nicole's term. Your team will actually help you make the coin. So when you are discussing things with your squad, like you're discussing your ideas, you're discussing your overall vision or developing that that vision. Okay, same back to you, bruh. Not a problem. You don't have to look at it anymore. Block party. Absolutely. Bye, boo, bye. Okay, so your squad will help you determine how you make the coin. Your team will actually help you make it. So your squad, yeah, it's okay. People are so ignorant. Like if I were to let things like that affect me, I wouldn't even be doing this right now. So your squad, when you're talking with your squad, you're talking to them about your vision and what you want to see happen and the overall goals for your business. So your squad is more, squad got them exactly. Your squad is more likely to help you, figure those things out in ways for you to make the coin. Whereas your team will actually be the ones to do some of that legwork to help you make the coin. So they're going to be the ones that are setting up your Facebook groups and, maybe creating the presentation for your webinars and helping with registration at an event and those sorts of things. Your team will actually help you do those things. So your squad will help you determine how. Your team will actually help you do the what and the what for and all of that. The third difference between your squad and your team is your squad complements you. And that's COMPLEMENTS, not giving you compliments, which is spelled with an I, by the way. Your team completes you. Your squad complements you. Your team completes you. So in my squad, also, like a lot of my friends are in my squad. They complement me. They each bring a perspective and a level of wisdom to every conversation that we have that complements me, that helps me to be better, that, they have perspectives that I don't have and vice versa. Your team completes you, meaning that the stuff that's up here, stuff that's in your heart, the stuff that you want to do, they actually help you do that. So in that way, they complete who you are. They complete the vision. They complete what it is that you are setting out to do. Your squad complements you. They fill in the gaps in a lot of respects, but your team actually helps to complete those tasks and the visions for that. So that was number 3. Number 4, your squad helps you create. Your team helps you complete. Very similar to, kind of similar to number 2 and 3 a little bit. So your squad helps you create. So they help you, again, you're like, I need to figure out a way to get all of the people that follow me in one room. So they help you create, a conference or a live event or a webinar or whatever it is, or your next Periscope topic. Your team actually helps you complete that. They do the legwork, the task, all of the jobs and the work that has to be done to accomplish what you create. So they actually do that for you. The number 5 difference between your squad and your team is that your squad, this is so important, your squad pushes you higher. Your team pushes you forward. Your squad pushes you higher. Your team pushes you forward. So your squad is there to help you think bigger, better, to not just do things the same way all of the time, not just, have those same products every year. Your team is like, oh, well, why don't you think about that? And why don't you think about that? I think about conversations sometimes I have, with Pamela of Quills by Nature. I'm like, it sure would be nice. And then, she'd be like, I ain't doing that. Then a few months later, you get a little package in the mail and you're like, yes. So your squad helps push you higher. They help you, get out, pushing you out of that comfort zone and that box with the familiar. Your team pushes you forward because they're like, okay, we have this launch in 2 weeks, or we have this thing that needs to come out. They're the ones that are, making sure that registration pages are correct. They're sure that, the flyer is distributed and out. So your team is constantly moving forward. They're like the train. Your squad is like the plane. So they are moving up. They're helping you to, take you higher, take your thinking and your planning to a higher level and a higher plane. So when you're with your squad, you're at this 50,000 foot level. When you're with your team, you're on the ground. Okay, so you even have to change your thinking a little bit when you are working with people that are helping you implement an event. And I know you probably think, well, I don't have a team, I don't have anybody hired under me. This is even the same for volunteers, right? So if you have people that help you, even if it's your family, it is the same concept. You are down in the trenches with them when it is your team. You are, yes, you are supposed to have this high level overview, but you are making sure that the work is done. So you have to be concerned about how all of the parts are working, and if they're not working, where the breakdown is happening. Okay, so with your squad, you can remain at this level here. You can talk big picture, you can talk long term, you can talk strategic plans and where you want to be in a year, 3, 5, 10 years from now. With your team, really, it is a much more short-term vision. So you are looking at, how do we get through this next launch? How do we get through this next event? And then you kind of move them forward from there. But with your squad, you can say, well, you know, they're already working on the event. I'm looking at what I want to do with this event next year, or where I want to go with it. So again, your squad pushes you higher, your team pushes you forward. Number 6, your squad is made of innovators. Your team is made of implementers. And that's not to say that you can't have some innovative people on your team. That's not what I'm saying. But overwhelmingly, the main characteristic of people on your squad is that they are innovators. They are the ones that are coming up with stuff. They are the ones that are striking out on their own. They're developing things. Whether they leave their full-time job or not, they are creating, they are doing, they are implementing as well. Your team is made up of implementers. So they may not always have the overall vision or the idea, but they know how to carry it out. So they implement whatever you are asking them to do, and whatever it is that you need for them to do in order to carry out your vision. All right, number 7, your squad should include experts. Your team can include those with lesser experience. So your squad should have experts in it. My friends, anybody that's in my squad, my girl Kendra is a beast when it comes to nonprofit development and advancement and volunteer management and all of those things. She's an expert. Whenever I have questions about that, that's who I ask. That's who I talk to. I glean a lot from her just talking and watching how she maneuvers within the nonprofit sector. There's definite transferable skills and knowledge that go from that. I look at my friend Kim, who works as an event planner, and just her attention to detail. Like, I have experts. My squad is made up of experts. They are experts in whatever their particular field of industry and passion are. My team, I like people that specialize, but you can train a lot of people. You can coach a lot of people to develop the skills that you need. If they are teachable, if they have a reasonable degree of intelligence, you can, and if they're willing to work, you can teach and train quite a few people if you're willing to invest that time into people to do a lot of the things that you want to do when it comes to being part of your team. Your squad should be made up of people that have already been there, done that, succeeded, got the t-shirt, and have moved on to the next ride, okay? So your squad should include experts. Your team can include those with lesser experience, because you can train them, you can help get them to a place where they're really effective and efficient for you. That doesn't mean that you hire somebody with no experience. No, that's not what I'm saying at all, because that's just insane. But you can hire someone that may have only been an assistant for 2 years rather than 20 years. So you may have to do a little extra work with them, but you can work with them. If they're teachable, if they're willing to work, if they're willing to learn, you could and should be able to train them and get them to the point. And sometimes that's actually advantageous, because you can kind of shape and groom them into what works for you. Sometimes people get set in their ways, even us as employees. I even found myself doing that sometimes when, you know, I have a relatively new boss. He's only been here since February. And so a lot of times he says stuff and I'm like, well, we did that 2 years ago. We did that 3 years ago. Or, you know, that never really worked. work, and da 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 da. So you have people like that typically they may get set in their ways. So sometimes it's people that don't have as much experience and tend to be a little bit more malleable and a little bit more able to be molded into what it is that you need for them to be. The number, oh, this is so important. Number 8 is super, super, super important to me. So number 8, you barter with your squad. You pay your team. So in my squad, we rarely exchange money. We rarely exchange dollars and cents. What we do freely exchange is access, information, knowledge, products, services, advice, counseling. Right. And I'm like that with my friends. Like, when this is how I am with my squad and definitely with my friends. What's your question? But with my friends, like when we're traveling and stuff, I don't do that. Oh, kind of tit for tat. I spent $15, so now you got to give me $15. One time I fill up the gas tank. Next time, you may buy our snacks, and then, I pay for dinner, and then you buy the gas, and then I pay for dinner. Like, that's just how me and right, exactly. That's how me and my squad are. Like, there is rarely an exchange of actual cash. So you barter with your squad, but your team, you have to pay. All right. So that's one major difference. If there are people in your life that you don't have to pay for their services, for their expertise, I know I cannot stand that. And one of my friends sells Mary Kay, and so I bought some lipstick or something from her and gave her the money. She was like, "So how much change do I owe you?" I looked at her so crazy. She was like, "Oh, I forgot. Sorry." I was like, "Yeah, I wish you would give me some change, really." I said, "We would stop being friends for real over some change." But again, you barter with your squad. You pay your team. Number 9, your squad holds you accountable, whereas you hold your team accountable. So I ain't paying you nothing, Ayana. I'm gonna pay you in food and drinks so you can entertain me when I come to Atlanta. That's bartering. That's what I'm gonna pay you with, and warm donuts. Your squad holds you accountable. You hold your team accountable. So my squad, they're like, "Have you done this? Have you done that?" I have a member of my squad right now that I'm going to go find tomorrow because she is all right. So like I was saying, I have a member of my squad that I had to go look for tomorrow. Hi. I know, because she is supposed to be starting a blog, and if she don't start that blog, I told her that we were going to cease to be friends. And so tomorrow is D-Day for her. So if y'all know Toya, better go out there on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook and tell her tomorrow Adeea is going to check on the status of your blog. You did. I'm so excited because, yeah, you were on the list too. So you about to get a nasty text. You should. Don't think, do. You should start one. All right. So your squad holds you accountable. Yes, I know you have nothing to say except in these scopes. You hold your team accountable. So with your team, you know, hold them accountable for the tasks that they have been assigned or the projects that they've been given or the things that they're supposed to do at your event. Excuse me. Number 10. Yeah, okay. All right. Tell Adeea set it on Periscope. um, Number 10, your squad is independently successful. Your team works independently to make the team successful. Okay? So you see the slight nuance there. Number 10 is your squad is independently successful. Your team works independently to make the team a success. So even when you're looking at it from an event standpoint, you have the people working registration, you have the people standing by the swag bags, or you know, greeting people or making sure the VIPs are comfortable. Those people work independently in their individual areas to make the overall event or whatever project it is a success. Your squad, we're all doing our thing independently. And so independently, we're successful. Collectively, we are successful because we thrive and support each other, and we are able to, you know, literally brag on each other. I love bragging on my squad. Like one of my friends, Shantae, she just moved to Indianapolis because she has this amazing job as the director of health and wellness promotion at a university there. I love being able to talk about my squad and their areas of expertise. Like her specialty is sexual education and smoking cessation. Like I love being able to talk about my squad in that way. And so they're independently successful. Yeah, she just left. Today's her second day at work. Whereas, you know, people on my team, they work in their particular areas, whether it's like a virtual assistant type of role or, you know, helping with registration, in order to make whatever it is that I'm working on a success. Okay. Number 11, your squad may take you fast. Your team will take you far. So with my squad, they're like, Adeea, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to hold a conference in New York, and then you need to take it down to Miami, and then you need to go out to LA and do it. And I'm like, pump your brakes. And I know it's because they see the potential in me. They see the qualities and the leadership things. You know, a lot of times when members of my squad sit in on a Periscope or a webinar that, yes, squad stay dreaming, they're like, oh my God, Adeea, I had no idea you were doing this. And I was sitting there thinking, you know, she really needs to call President Obama, like I'm just going to be able to call him in the White House, and say that I need to do this for the Joint Chiefs of Staff and for his entire cabinet, right? So your squad wants to take you fast. But it's going to be your team, those, right. But your team is going to be the ones, because they're doing that work. They're putting in the legwork, so to speak, to take you far, to get you the tools and everything that you need in order to have longevity and to have success in whatever endeavor that you're embarking on. Okay. So I love my squad because they do take me fast. And I like that because if it were left to me and my devices, I would move at a snail's pace because that's what I'm comfortable with. Like I would have all of my ducks in a row, all of my money lined up, all my stuff designed before I would launch anything, before I would do anything. But sometimes my squad is like, no, do it now. And I'm like, okay. And I get out there, I put on my big girl panties and I do it. And then I swim my way through it. I work my way through it. I figure it out. All right. Number 12, your squad is made of different voices with different visions. Your team is made of different voices with the same vision. And they should have the same vision because it's your vision as the leader of the team. So your squad is made up of different voices with different visions. So they each have their own individual vision. Yes, different. Let's see, not the ones that you hear, Ayana. But your squad has different voices and different visions. Your team is made up of different voices with the same vision. So your team is comprised of different people that have different attributes and different things that they excel at, that they're even interested in. And so their voices may be different, but they work in those areas. They work from those backgrounds and those perspectives to accomplish the same vision. Whereas in your squad, they're working on their own vision. So their voices are different, their perspectives are different, their outcomes are going to be different. But as a squad, you're able to hopefully take a lot of transferable skills, transferable lessons from what they're doing in their respective businesses and apply it to whatever it is that you're doing. I absolutely, I learned so much. I don't make a product at all, but I learned so much from Pamela of Coils by Nature. By watching what she does, by talking to her, and sort of understanding a little bit, gleaning a little bit from what she does in her business, I'm able to apply that and transfer that knowledge and that thought processes to what I'm doing. So while her voice is different and her vision is different, I'm still able to learn from that, and that's important to me. Number 13, your squad supports each other in their individual work. Yes. Your team is under your employee, but your squad are independent. Yes, that is very true. Your squad supports each other in their individual work. Your team supports the collective vision with their individual work. Okay, so your squad, we support each other. When you're in the squad, you support each other in whatever it is that we're doing individually. So, Fro and Bay, I support Diana in that. Coils by Nature products, I support Pamela in that. I've helped my friend Kendra on her heart ball. Those sorts of things. I support my squad in their individual work. Whereas the people on your team, they're going to support whatever that vision is with their individual work. So whether they're a graphic artist or a web designer or your virtual assistant or in charge of registration at an event, they are going to support that one vision for the team with their individual work. So are you seeing the differences between your squad and your team and why it's necessary to have both? And that also doesn't mean that there may not be some cross-pollination, that someone who starts out maybe on your team becomes part of your squad just because of their leadership and their acumen and their wisdom and their innovation. You may see some qualities in them that qualify them to become a part of your squad, or vice versa. There may be people that are in your squad that are looking for an opportunity to help serve you in your vision. That there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can bring them on as part of your team to do that. Number 14, yes, the squad does get mama's collar to macaroni and cheese. Team's gonna get the meatloaf. I love meatloaf too. So I don't have a team. I work pretty independently right now. Right. So you primarily have a squad, but you're going to eventually get to the point where you're going to need to have a team, especially when you become a stylist. You're going to have an assistant. Yeah, exactly. Because how else are they going to ship me my stuff and make sure that all my events are straight? You don't have to have an assistant, right? Okay. I do too. My mama's meatloaf is the best. Yep, here I go. Because I'm the what? Purpose pusher. I need to come up with a sign. I need a virtual assistant as well. I really do. I don't like meatloaf with rosemary either. Very true. Focus. Focus, y'all. Stop. All right. So Um, another difference between your squad and your team, and this is more for your own peace of mind and to prevent any blurred lines like Robin Thicke, clearly crossed. And that is, you play with your squad. You pay, no, wait, what am I looking for? You pay your team. So you don't necessarily play with them. You play with your squad. I play with my squad. You know, we have fun together as well. Like even our conversations around business or seeking each other's advice are fun-filled, laughing conversations. Whereas with a team, it's more task-oriented. You're making sure that things are getting done. And that doesn't mean that you're like, do this, do that, click. That just means that, you know, that's not the primary focus, and that's not who you necessarily let down your hair with like that and have those kinds of conversations. Because in order to maintain that leader teammate approach, you have to have some degree of boundaries there with them. Whereas with your squad, that line is a lot less defined and a little bit more blurry, because you support each other, you go to each other's events, you hang out with each other in the social settings and things like that. And you can do that with your team, but it usually is more defined and confined to certain things and certain times. Whereas your squad, you might vacation with your squad, because, you know, as soon as I get about that yacht life, I'm going to be on a yacht somewhere or at a resort somewhere with my squad. Like, that's what we're going to do at least once a year. We're going to have a vacation where that's what we do. We just get together, we create, we have fun, we drink, we relax, we eat to our heart's content, we exercise, we walk, we shop, we do all of that stuff together. That's what I do with my squad. And so, you know, that's another, yes, drink some more. Absolutely. Yes. Another difference between your squad and your team. I did say exercise only because I know some of y'all exercise, you know, hashtag don't exercise, not me. I'm going to hold the water while y'all are on the bikes. I might walk around, like if you want to walk on the beach or something, I might do that. But I mean, in terms of any real sweat, I might do some yoga. But in terms of like real sweat, Stairmaster, elliptical, kickboxing, yeah, no one will slip up there. No. Hashtag don't exercise. That's for y'all. Cause see, that's how I am with my squad. I be looking out for y'all, and I want to, you know, make sure that your interests are met as well. Even though that's not mine. That's the type of friend I am. All right. Another difference between, yes, exactly. And see, you all would know where all the Starbucks are. So, you know, it's a win-win. Another difference between your squad and your team is you have access to your squad. Your team has access to you. You have access to your squad. Your team has access to you. So when people on your team have questions, they need to have access to you. When they need to know whether you want blue pens or black pens, they need to have access to you. Your squad is the one that you kind of go to, look, I'm really having this dilemma, or I'm not really sure, I need a manufacturer for this, or I need something for that. That's where you, black 5mm, I'm not messing with you. Your squad are the ones that can provide you with, you know, even that information if you need to, because you have access to them. Hey, how are you? Hi. Let's see. We have 3 more. Okay. Number 16, your squad has individual directions. Your team only has one direction. So, you know, with my squad, we do different things. We have different lanes. We're in different directions. Your team only has one direction, and that's the direction that you set. And so even if they start off going down slightly different paths, they eventually come back together because they have to go down that one path to get to that vision, to get to that goal accomplishment. Number 17, difference between your squad and your team is you grow with your squad. You build your team. So a lot of members of my squad, my crew, my girls, my posse, we've been together for a long time, and we've grown and evolved with each other as not your belly. You're so funny. Not, we've grown together through changes of jobs, changes in lifestyle and career and focus and things like that. We've grown with each other. Whereas with your team, you build them. You build them for what it is that you need at that. My posse's on Broadway. Y'all know nothing about that. That's how old I am. I know that song. You build your team, and you build your team for what you need at that particular point in time. And so that leads me into the last difference between your squad and your team. Your squad remains through change, whereas your team may change with shifts in your business or brand or event life or what have you. So your squad is probably going to remain intact with change, but your team may change with shifts in your business. All right. So those are the differences between your squad and your team. What questions can I answer for you all right now? Also, I'm not really sure what I want to talk about tomorrow at 10 at 10, so I'm going to need some help. You have any suggestions, things that you want me to talk about tomorrow? Because right now I don't have a topic. And if I don't have a topic, then I might not come on. And I don't want to do that, but I'm wanting to talk about something y'all want to talk about. So while you all are coming up with that, I'll do a brief recap of some of my favorite ones from this. I'm not going to go through all of them, but is there an application for the team? I have. You have some openings to build your team? You want to have people apply? Let's talk about why you ain't coming to Lancher sooner. Whatever, Ayana. My August is crazy busy. August is so super busy. I'm hoping that I can do, no, that's not going to be a topic of the 10 at 10. Time management, pursuing mentors. Okay, those are all good things. Let me write those down. Squads make time. I am going to make time in September. Get on my nerves. Get off my back. Bring your collars too. I don't even know. They might not be in season there. Time management. All right, so let me answer April's question. $2015. Oh my God. I'm going to have to look at the football calendar because beginning in September, my life is dictated by ECU football. Yeah. So related to applications, I do think you need to have an application to get people on your team. I also think you need to really have an application process, an interview process that's comfortable for you, so that you bring the right people on. Because I mean, this has been all you for so long that you have to bring, you can't just bring anybody into the mix or into the fold. You have to bring the right person, the right type of person in there. So you're going to have to, and especially the first person, that is probably going to be the longest and the hardest decision that you make, because you have to make sure that this person is on it, is committed, is loyal. So even again, if they don't have, hey, how are you? You look familiar. Hey. Oh, yeah. Yes, don't let me forget that. So I'm gonna answer that in just a second. So cootie shot. Ayana, be quiet. For you have to make sure that that person is going to have some intangible inner qualities that you can't teach, like the loyalty, like the commitment, the confidentiality, the commitment to excellence, to treating your baby like you treat your baby in terms of your business. So that's going to be difficult, but then it'll be easy when you feel that connection with that person, right? So, and it may even be like a trial situation, like you literally just say, I really, from what I can tell right now, I think you would be a good fit and a good asset, but I need to, test it out for 60, 90 days. I mean, I think minimally you have to do at least 60 to 90 days. I mean, most jobs give you 90-day probation, and it's going to take you probably a good 45 days, so to speak, to onboard them, to orient them to your business, to your way of doing things, to your philosophy. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be a lot of, you're literally, I know it does sound scary because it is, of you, and then it's going to be a complete shift for you. And that's where my own personal struggle is with hiring somebody. I have been told, cajoled, threatened that I need to hire somebody, but I have not been able to let go. I honestly haven't. And that is that's killing me right now. Like literally, it is costing me money. And now that I've said those two words, I have to do something different. And that's the way you have to look at it when you think about the. Y'all know they won't let me be great. So anyway, so you also, at the same time that you are doing looking for this person, and even once you bring this person on board, you are definitely gonna have to do some mindset shifts yourself in terms of letting certain things go. And so you start with smaller things that, if they aren't done or aren't done quite like you want them, it won't like shut you down, or it won't make your event not happen or something like that. But then you use those as teachable moments. And then in those moments, that's really where you see the character, the loyalty, the commitment that this person has. Do they accept correction? Are they, willing to do better, willing to learn something that maybe they haven't learned before? So, and it takes at least, in my opinion, at least 60 to 90 days to do that. And even if that person doesn't work out, I don't consider that a waste, because if nothing else, the qualities, some other qualities that you're looking for in a person, right? So you'll be able to say, well, I thought I wanted this, but I really need that. Or I thought I needed this type of skill, but I really don't. I need that type of skill instead. So you're able to make those distinctions, even if that particular person doesn't work out. So I hope that helps you. So for Jonna's question about removing someone from a team, I think you have to. Thank you. I know you have to go to bed because you get up mad early. So yeah, good night. Text me in the morning. Anyway, removing someone from the team, I would say, no, I have never used you now. I don't know what that is. So when I think about removing someone from the team, because I've had to do that myself, I think you have to have y'all are so crazy. I think you have to have conversations with them, and you can start those conversations even though no matter how you do that, they you start it with asking them questions, like asking how they feel about the process and what it is that they're looking for and where they think the issues and the breakdown and that is, and what it is that they want to do at this point. And you have to acknowledge the fact that it is not, yeah, it's kind of like an exit interview. It's not going the way you plan. And so we either need to figure it out and make some strategic, consistent changes in how we do things, or I'm going to have to, like, we just need to alter, sever this form of, or this type of relationship. Now, if it's a situation where you're friends, you really exactly you really have to weigh and determine if you are willing to risk that friendship, risk losing that friendship, risk losing that friendship in order to, you know, kind of save your brand, save your well-being, your peace of mind and sanity. Is this convo prior to them kicking them out? Give me one more chance, Biggie. Yeah, you do have to be honest and direct. And I know of two situations where the friendships were permanently altered for the negative as a result of having that kind of conversation. And so I think that's my only real advice in terms of making sure that you are okay with the relationship either being altered and or severed because of the conversation and because of the decisions that you need to make that are best for you. If you're okay with that, then by all means move ahead and do that. If you're not okay with that, and if the friendship means that much to you, you may have to change a little bit of your wording with it in terms of just saying, I mean, I value our friendship so much, but this is just not working for me, and I don't want to end up losing you as a friend because of this. And so I think if you really put the friendship at the center, then there may be an opportunity to salvage it, if that is indeed the case in the situation, like it's working with someone that you're friends with. If it's not the case and it's just, yeah, honesty is absolutely the best policy. And that is honest. You don't want to lose a friend because you don't make great business partners, right? But you need to have that honest conversation that this isn't working. And be honest with them about that. Good. Awesome. That's great. So, and again, it may not be permanently altered, but it may, like she is talking, yes, I'm about to wrap it up. And maybe what April is referring to in terms of it, you had to take some time apart and then sort of work your way back together, because, you know, people that are mature and adults and got jobs and families and lives and know the value of friendship, yeah, they may be upset or mad in the beginning, and I probably would be too. But if we started this venture as friends, I'm not going to let that go just because I'm salty that we're not in this venture together anymore. Because if I'm your friend, I'm still going to support you whether I'm partner B or not. I can still support you. Yes, jealousy is ugly and envy is worse. Yes. And so, yeah, a lot of people, they don't like honesty, like Babs was saying. And that's unfortunate, but you also can't neglect or risk your name, your brand, your dreams just to save face or to potentially risk not hurting your friends' feelings, because they are, because they're your friend, but it's costing you money. And when you think about it like that, then you should have that conversation. When it starts costing you money, either because you're leaving money on the table or because it's literally costing you money out of your pocket, then you absolutely have to speak on it. Absolutely have to do that. So I hope that helps. Always have an exit strategy that should be in your business plan. That is true, especially if you do have any sort of formal partnership arrangement or agreement. Right. Might like money more. True story. All right. So I have a couple of suggestions as it relates to tomorrow's scope, time management, pursuing mentors, anything else that you all are interested in me scoping about for tomorrow's 10 at 10. It could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to business. It can be about life, purpose, whatever. Or we could do an open Q&A where I just answer questions. That matter to me. You all tell me. But I've just come up with so many topics over the past couple of weeks. I'm a little tired. So I want to make sure that what I'm giving you is actually what is helpful. I know you will, and none of them will be pertinent. No, I'm not answering your questions. I'm blocking you on that scope. I'll unblock you after. I'm so blocking you because you're going to ask the most random questions. No, we're not playing school. I can't with you, Ayana. I'm blocking you if I do a Q&A scope. If I ever do a Q&A scope, you will be blocked for that scope. Effective advertising. Okay, I'll write that down. Unpack that for me a little bit. Tell me what you mean by that. Anyone else have things that you think you want me to talk about or refer to? How to build a diverse team culturally. Okay. I definitely can talk about how to build a team. Owning your market and advertising to them correctly to produce growth. Okay. How to find your passion or purpose. Unpack that for me a little bit. What do you mean by that? I have a scope on 10 clues to finding your purpose, I believe. I did a scope earlier today on the differences between passion and purpose. I would definitely start with those two that I've already done. Maybe 10 tips for each social media platform. Okay. Hi, how are you? No, Ayana. Jesus. How about what you do when you think you cut a cornrow? I cannot stand you. Yes, she is letting Satan use her. So bad that Nisha cut out her hair. Oh, Jesus, Lord, be offense. No. 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 Where? Like in the front? Yeah, she's going to have to call on them. How Starbucks wins, and you can too. Done. Done. Jesus, be a master hair person fixer. Like, you mean master stylist, maybe? Well, now you can actually borrow my puff to cover up that cornrow you can cut out. Jesus. It's big enough to cover a multitude of sins, literally. Even though I make great money, my purpose is not in this career. Yes, I feel you on that. Well, I don't make great money because they pay me in bubblegum and peanuts. So yeah. Managing your social media accounts and how to get your followers to be more interactive. Okay. I'm not allergic to peanuts, thank the Lord, because I would be in a world of trouble. The state of North Carolina can. It's our cash crop. Oh, I guess I could teach the passionate engagement model. Let's see how I'm gonna do that. That'll answer a lot of these things about audience interaction. Ayana, I'm gonna block you. I'm going to block you. Yeah, so I have this model called the passionate engagement model, and it's really designed to help you develop ways to move people from the community, which is the yes, I saw that too. That was disturbing on so many levels. Anyway, the passionate engagement model, I know I do too, is where you move people from the community, which is kind of that outer periphery. That's everybody in the natural hair community, moving them inward to becoming part of your core. And so I know she is. And so I teach about how the different parts of that model and how you can use different parts of it and ways that you can use it to move people from that outer community, from just being a part of the natural hair community, to being people that may end up eventually becoming part of your team because they're so committed, they know your language and stuff like that. So I may teach that. That's going to be a special one though. Nisha is allergic to everything, just so you know. All right, y'all. So I have quite a few things that I can focus on for tomorrow. So Jesus's products are natural. You know what, Ayana? I'm going to get off this scope because Ayana is in rare form as usual. You don't love God? Yeah, she really does need to go to bed, like for real. I know, catch the replays. And you know you can find it on my website, Adeea R. Rogers. Thank you.com/10AT10. That's where the full replay will be, hopefully by tomorrow at lunchtime. Let's see what else. So yeah, I'm getting ready to go. I have a meeting tomorrow that I gotta like put on some real clothes for, and y'all know I'm not about that real clothes life, especially when the children aren't there. And bye. I gotta put on some real clothes tomorrow. So I'm going to, I know, I don't want to go either. Anyway, I'm gonna get some rest. I know, but I gotta present, and I don't really want to. This is my first scope. Very informative. Yay, good, thank you. No, Jesus not gonna be there, so I shouldn't go, right? That's what I should tell my boss. I'd be like, well, Jesus won't there. I do both. When I present, I always represent. Yes, please catch the replay.